This time makes so much sense. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. All you need is love. All you need a little bit love. This time makes so much sense to me. Makes so much sense. Sense. This time it makes so much sense. Sense. All you need is love. Love. Love.
I could talk for hours, or at least 1 hour, about love and what it is, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make this as brief as possible and explain the core of it, so everything else you can figure out yourself anyway. Love is essentially what souls are capable of creating. Seeing as everybody creates their own reality and everything around them. And the more awake you are, the more open you are, the more likely it is to create this between you and other souls, whether you choose one or hundreds. When people say love, as in falling in love, and not love as such, they are talking about many things compiled. When you say you love somebody, it's a compilation of many things, such as trust and a lot of strong feelings. You completely opening up, and that as a result creates love. So it means giving but also receiving. Love is a connection. Love is not what comes from one side only. Imagine it this way. This is A and this is B, two souls, and in the middle there is love. Because if it only comes from one side, a lot of times it can end up in pain and such things. That is, if there's no connection, it has to go together, both being open. Love means sharing everything with someone, and not only kindness and joy as it is portrayed in the media. Pain and such things also belong to this thing called love. It's also when you tell somebody something that they don't want to hear, which is what a friend does. As I said in one of my videos about friends, a friend is also something that comes from love. It's also the connection. That is what true friendship is. Honor is required for love because it requires honesty. Honor meaning really high respect for oneself. Maybe many times the word honor is misused. I understand what you may be thinking right now, but I don't mean it that way. Without honor, you cannot be honest. It doesn't work. It's the same way as somebody who doesn't accept themselves because of their looks for whatever reason. They will always criticize and comment on other people's looks. And if they may not comment, they will always look. It's this kind of acceptance. It always requires for you to accept yourself first before you can give it to other people, so to say. So what I was talking about in my last video about beauty, being beautiful in this reality on this planet can also be a curse, because it can feed your ego, and likely it will if it comes from other people, comments and such. That's why celebrities and many people with tons of makeup and styling are misused or used. Not sure why I said misuse. They are being used. And of course this hinders them from waking up and creating this love in the world. This connection I'm talking about, which creates love, happens through the energy, the auras. So you most definitely do have to get close to somebody, because after all, our bodies are our instruments. So to bring out our feelings, we do it through emotions and through actions and whatever else. So this means that as far as love on the first sight goes, if it's really far away, there's no such thing. You would have to get close. This obviously also means that you cannot fall in love or create love with somebody online. Completely impossible. Love is purely spiritual. It's just that in this reality we use our bodies to express it, to express feelings, to create it. And we assume that we love our parents and they love us, or that it's like this always. But this can easily be destroyed when this trust and openness is destroyed in your childhood, when you're very young. If it's destroyed through abuse of this trust, when you rely on people to protect you, parents that are supposed to do it, and this can cause a trauma for your whole life. And nowadays this can it is the way that many people are shot because of these kind of things that happen in their childhood. Because if somebody who is asleep has a child, something may change, especially for the mothers. Fuck the system. Hallo? Na? Ja, ich mache gerade ein Video. Continuing, what I was going to say is that if a mother, or a father too of course, but a mother because we all come from the womb of the mother, maybe for her something like that could be a life-changing thing that would change something in some way, but at the end people who have been abused and people who are asleep will still at the end stay the same way and likely just cause more trauma for the child. And it's quite hard to get out of it. I'm still struggling myself. I was abused, I was betrayed by my so-called friends in the childhood. That wasn't very pleasing at all. It was quite terrible at times. So just takes a lot of strength to actually pull yourself together and to open up again and not have this fear of being betrayed again, going through the same things again. I could hardly say that there's something like love between me and anybody of my family, and my mother actually watches these videos. But many people, I believe, confuses when it comes to family that just because you grow up with somebody doesn't mean that there's something like love between you. Many times it's simply getting used to somebody, just like it is when you're in school in the class. You get used to people, but you don't love them. Love is something very strong.
Jerry's parents are alive, but because of his muscular dystrophy and emotional problems, they didn't want him.
My parents were ashamed to go out because of me. They were ashamed to take me out, you know. It's like I was the black sheep of the family. It's like when my mom brought me here, I seen her, and I ain't seen her since that day. Since that day she brought me in here, I have not seen her. And 3 days after, they took off to Las Vegas and just left me here. And I didn't know for 6 months, because I was trying to come at home, and I got somebody else moved into our house, and 6 months later, they wrote me a letter saying they were out in Las Vegas. And they enclosed it with a check for $20. I guess it's about time that I say something to the fact that they don't want me no more, and they never will, and that it's time for me to get out here and make a life for myself, which I plan to do when I leave.
Can you do it?
Yes, I think I can. I think I can.